All right, so 2020 had some really surprising pairs of sneakers that made my most comfortable list. Actually, there was a ton of stuff that was out there, and like I'm really surprised from some of these other brands what they're bringing to the table. But in this video, I wanted to give you guys kind of my top 10 comfortable sneakers that I'm looking forward to potentially releasing in 2021. And so let's go ahead and jump into the video. Yo, what is going on, guys? Hess here, collectivekicks.com. Hopefully you guys are having a good day out there today. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you guys would like to shop any sneaker deals that I curate for you guys on a weekly basis, just go to my website, linked in the description, Collective Kicks. In this video, I wanted to just cover like 10 pairs of sneakers that I'm looking forward to in 2021. Some of them have already come out. Some of them I'm like speculating that there's going to be something there. But I bought a lot of comfort sneakers in 2020. Some of them came from your guys' recommendations. Other ones are just ones that I found. Surprised that my ranking changed so much in the last handful of years because there's some brands that are creating some exceptional stuff that I never even heard about or even thought about. So excited to bring you guys this list. Let's go ahead and jump in. Number 10 spot for me would be just something amazing from Asics. I know that there's a lot of stuff people are like, wait a minute, I love Asics, blah, blah, blah. Those are my favorites, blah, blah, blahs. And I mean, honestly, I've tried a couple of the new technologies last year. I did the Nova Blast, and then I did the Glide Ride, and I did not like the Glide Rides at all. They were absolutely terrible for casual. And I know, again, it's a running shoe, but I mentioned this a lot. There's sometimes a threshold where there's a crossover between lifestyle and performance, and I like to find that like match made in heaven. Some of the stuff is completely not even possible. But to be fair, the Glide Rides, I think a lot of people said, even from a running perspective, those are just super weird. They're really bizarre. I didn't like those ones at all. But the Nova Blast was pretty decent, and I feel like Asics could really come to the table with something amazing that we just haven't heard yet. So I'm waiting and hoping either for a Nova Blast update or something else. Maybe they've already had some announcements. I honestly didn't do any research on this one yet, but it's one of those ones where I was like, you know, I really like Asics as a company. I'd love to see something that I could put on my feet and go, this is a great one. You guys got to check this one out. But really, from the Nova Blast and so on, there's so many other brands out there that are doing other things that I would just rather recommend. So I'm hoping for something from Asics. All right, so number 9 spot for me, I'm looking forward to like a Pegasus 38. The 37 was a really solid shoe, full-length Nike React and Zoom in it. Really comfortable shoe and a great all-around pair of sneakers. One you can wear for casual, gym, running, but also the price point is usually pretty good on that Pegasus, between like 110 and 130-ish, I believe. Anyway, I'm curious to see what the 38s can do because I really can't see them reformulating that midsole. That midsole from the 37s was so good, in my opinion, that I can't see them doing too much of a change. Similar like the 35s to the 36s, I think that's the one that was really minimal changes. Maybe we'll see some tongue changes or some heel structure changes, but the 38s is just one that I'm interested to hear and see. And so that one is my number 9 spot. So the number 8 spot on my list would go to this company here, Brooks. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this DNA line. They've had a lot of different things. DNA Loft, DNA Flash, DNA Zero. We've seen so many different iterations of it. This is the speed version that they say inside the insole, and this is the Hyperion Tempo. Well, this is a really good shoe for a really lightweight shoe. I hear the Hyperion Zero is even softer than this one, but I'm curious to see what they're going to bring to the table. What I'm really wanting these companies to do is take their flagship running sneaker cushioning technology and put it in a casual-ish sort of shoe, or one that kind of crosses over a little bit. Usually, a lot of these companies, in my opinion, are making the same mistake over and over again, where they have this brand new flagship, really fancy new technology, and then they only allow it to be on one pair of sneakers. Then unfortunately people like me have to try it out, which like sometimes it's really not geared towards casual, but the technology would be amazing from a casual perspective. So it's kind of a funny balance, and I've noticed this for the last like 5 years. It's been the same problem, but now we're getting more and more stuff. Like I said, DNA Flash, DNA Loft, regular DNA, DNA Zero. Like how many different names can you name something in different compounds of a material like that? So I'm curious to see what they do though. DNA Zero possibly was a pair that I'd be looking at to be able to buy this year. And as I'm going through this countdown, if you guys can think of other shoes that I missed, other specific shoes that you guys want to see me do a review on this channel this year, please leave a comment and let me know. And then I will definitely consider buying some of those shoes and doing reviews on them because I'm a comfort guy. I'm always chasing that Ultra Boost high from the very first time you put on an Ultra Boost, as I've said a million times. I like that sensation of max cushioning usually, but like really good cushioning, comfort, fit, structure. Like I love all of those aspects of a sneaker when you put them on, and I always like to find another one that's like really good that maybe I haven't tried in the past. Anyway, I think Brooks is doing some cool things, and some of the other ones I've tried and I didn't like the glycerin, I believe, or whatever that one was, didn't like that one at all. And this is one that I wasn't mad at. So definitely want to see what Brooks has up their sleeves. Number 7 on the list would go to Adidas Light Strike Pro technology. It's a really nice, soft, squishy sneaker cushioning technology that we've only seen on one pair of sneakers, the Adizero Plus or whatever. Those ones were Adizero Pros. But that's the only one that I've seen them on, and I'd like to see that cushioning technology on something else this year, possibly with a wider platform on it for those wider feet people like myself. That's really what I'm wanting to check out, because that cushioning technology was pretty good. Adidas obviously has Adidas Boost, and since then they've come out with a lot of different technologies, Light Strike Pro. They have Adidas Balance and some other things out there as well. But the Light Strike Pro is one where I could see it definitely stepping up into the limelight, because a lot of people seem to really like that shoe from a running perspective. Curious to see, hopefully they can bring something a little bit more casual, or where they don't have like a rocker-like feel in the middle. But definitely curious to see what Adidas is going to bring to the table this next year with Light Strike Pro. All right, so the number 6 spot on the list would be an updated version of this gem right here. This shoe is really good. And the more I try it on, the more I wear it, the more I'm like, man, this one really hits a lot of check boxes for me. This is a Clifton 7, so I'd be waiting for a Clifton 8. They also do have some other versions of Cliftons out there, one with a extra long heel on the back and some other ones as well that I'm thinking about trying, because this is the one that I absolutely love the best out of all of the Hokas, and I've tried about 4 or 5 of them. I'm not sure if I'll have the video review yet, but this is the Carbon X2, and I actually prefer the Hoka Clifton 7 over the flagship like $180 shoe. This one's $130. And the overall squishy feeling on feet is really, really good on these. They're lightweight. There's pretty decent stability on these as well for how high that stack is. And I definitely want to see what they're doing with the Hoka Clifton 8. Because the 7 is just a small update from the 6, I'm curious if they'll try to redo that midsole or not, or if they're just going to try to redo the upper. In my opinion, all they need to do is redo that upper and just something a little bit more fancy-ish, or I mean, because I really like the midsole. I like the width of it. It's really wide foot friendly, which is great. The upper is just plain Jane, though. I don't really like it. It just looks meh to me. And maybe that it's that, and maybe it's the colorways. But that's the only thing. I'm like, I wish they could make that a little bit better, because the midsole is outstanding. But definitely interested in seeing an updated version of this fantastic sneaker right here. All right, so number 5 on the list goes to a technology that not a lot of people have shown a lot of love to, but I think it actually has some promise, and that's the Reebok Float Ride technology. I was actually surprised to see how good this technology was on feet. Like, it didn't get a lot of hype or a lot of love, but when I bought a pair, I tried them on. I was like, man, this is actually pretty good. I did a review of these last year as well, but love to see something maybe a little bit thicker, a little bit more forefoot feel on these as well. But man, I think that this is a good one, and just one of those sleeper ones, considering how light it is as well. All right, so the number 4 spot on the countdown goes to a pair of Sauconys. Now, I'm hoping that we're going to see another Endorphin line in 2021. First, there was an Endorphin Pro that had the carbon fiber in the midsole, and actually I did a review on those shoes as well. I got rid of my pair, but I regret it because I actually really like that shoe. But really, I'm looking for something more geared towards me. The carbon fiber roller motion thing really isn't the best for casual. So I've heard the Endorphin Speed is really good for casual. It's a pair that I didn't buy last year, and I'm hoping to buy this year, or an updated version of the Endorphin Speed. If you guys have tried the Endorphin Speed or any of the other Endorphin shoes, what do you guys think about that technology? So the Endorphin line has the Power Run Plus, I believe, technology in it, which is like an updated version of the Ever Run technology. It's almost like Adidas Boost. It's actually one of the closest things to Adidas Boost that I've seen on the market. And it might actually be a little bit softer and squishier than Boost. But Endorphin line was really good. Definitely looking for the speeds. I'm hoping that they have something a little bit with a more serious stack than the Speed had on it. And that would be what I'd be wanting to buy. So hopefully something good from Saucony coming this year, but really like the Endorphin Pro from last year. All right, so the number 3 spot on the countdown, I have basically Boost technology, but primarily these 2 shoes are ones that I'm looking for updates in 2021. The Ultra Boost 21, I absolutely love this shoe. I've already done a review on this one, but I'm guessing we'll probably see some updated versions of this, maybe a summer ready version with a different upper. I'm not really sure. We saw 8 colorways at launch, which means they probably got a lot of colorways in store, similar to what they did with the Ultra Boost 20. So I really want to see what they're going to bring to the table. I like 3 of the colorways so far. The triple black colorway is probably my favorite that I haven't bought yet, but one that I'm eyeing. And all in all, like, the Ultra Boost 21 is a great shoe. It's not as soft and squishy on feet as I would have anticipated, but the overall balance of the shoe on my foot, I just like the feel. It just feels like a great overall experience for a casual everyday, as well as a running sneaker. Because of that added LEP system on the bottom, it definitely does give you like a little extra push, as I mentioned. But then I transition over to the Adidas 2K Boost, which I actually really like this midsole. It's a really soft, squishy midsole. The way that they did this midsole is really crazy. Honestly, it didn't look like it was going to be near as comfortable as it is. and it's something that I've been really enjoying. So definitely wanted to see like an updated version of this, maybe with a different upper. The upper to this looks too much like a tubular, or like, I don't know, just one of the heritage lines, and a ground up revamp of the upper, in my opinion, would be really dope on this one. So that's definitely something I would be looking forward to in 2021. All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now. The number 2 spot on the countdown, one that I just actually pre-ordered, the New Balance 1080 V10 11. Now, it was one of my favorite shoes of last year. It was actually probably the best comfort shoe that I've tried on from a company that I've never really experienced like comfort from before, and that's New Balance. Obviously, New Balance has a lot of great stuff. The 997s, 998s, the 995s, I've had, and all of those are good, don't get me wrong, but that's all like the lifestyle side of things. But the running side, that's why I was the most surprised, because the 1080 V10s was just everything I was looking for in a pair of sneakers. Lightweight, well cushioned, the overall fit my foot perfectly, like it just molded to my foot right. It offered like a wide version, so I had a little bit of a wide version for my foot as well. Super soft and squishy on feet, at least for me. So that was one of my favorite shoes of last year. So obviously the V11 I pre-ordered as soon as I saw them available, and I'll link them as well as any of these other shoes that I can find through the years in the description. But that one was one I was like, man, I definitely can't wait to see how the next version is. It looks okay. It doesn't look amazingly different. The upper looks a little bit different from what I could see, but I actually haven't looked at the midsole if it's actually different than the predecessor or not. But one that I definitely want to get in hand, on feet, and give you guys a review and a comparison to those once I get them. But definitely highly recommend that V10. If you can get them now on sale with the 11s coming out, highly recommend those. They're so good. All right, so I made it to the number 1 spot, and I have the Nike Infinity React 2 right here. That's a great shoe, but that's not the one that is the number 1 spot. The number 1 spot, the shoe that I really, really want to try, is that Nike Invincible, or whatever the full name of that shoe is. I really got to check that one out, because that has full-length Zoom X in the midsole of the shoe, which, if you guys haven't been on the channel for very long, the Pegasus Turbos was my favorite shoe from the last 2 years. Pegasus Turbo 2 was unbelievably good as well. And both of those shoes featured a small layer of Zoom X, and the other half of the midsole was Nike React. So it was the best of both worlds in a sense. Both of those cushioning technologies from Nike. But the Invincible is full-length Zoom X, which is featured like in the back of here. And I really want to try those out. First of all, it's lightweight stuff, so it's really nice and light, but it's really soft and squishy as well. And both of these runners that are full-length Zoom X, they have carbon fiber in the midsoles and stuff, and I don't like that. I want to have a Zoom X shoe that doesn't have the propulsion forward. I just want it as a soft, squishy feel on feet, and maybe the Invincible is going to deliver that to me. So I definitely know that those are coming out in February. I don't know what day specifically as of the point of me recording this video, because it's been delayed already. They were already supposed to drop last month, but highly anticipating that shoe to be a good one, and I'm curious to see where that line takes you. And if you saw from my very first reviews of these years ago, that was the one thing that I wanted. I want a Zoom X shoe with no carbon fiber, and that's really what I think is going to be a comfortable shoe, because this technology is really good. It's really soft. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long. It really rubs thin very, very fast. Well, so hopefully they'll have an outsole that lasts a little bit longer. All in all, the Zoom X technology might be kind of weak, but it's really soft, squishy, and lightweight, and something I'm looking forward to seeing how they engineered with the Invincibles. But that's my number 1 spot, because that's a shoe that I really have been waiting for, as well as any more that are like that, similar to that. So I think they got rid of the Pegasus Turbo, so this is like the one that I'm looking for that's taking over that Pegasus Turbo lineup for myself. But what other shoes did I miss? There's a lot of shoe technology out there. There's a lot of really comfortable shoes out there as well. Which ones would you guys be on the lookout for in 2021? I'm sure this list is going to change through the year, so I'll have some follow-ups as well. But if you guys missed my most comfortable sneakers from 2020 list, go ahead and check that one out. I'll try to link it in the description. But thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2021 brings us. So hopefully some of these sneaker companies can bring us some awesomeness. Have a good rest of the day, though. Subscribe again if you're new to the channel. If you guys like the video, go ahead and drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me if you guys do that. And hopefully we'll see you guys back here for some more videos. All right, peace, guys.